I woke up to the sound of waves gently crashing against the shore, the sunlight streaming through the windows of our villa. For a moment, everything felt normal, perfect even. I could hear my parents talking in the other room, and the smell of breakfast being cooked filled the air. This was paradise, and I was determined to enjoy every minute of it. Yesterday's weirdness with the whole SpaceX and Bill Gates thing was just a fluke, I told myself. I was probably just tired or overthinking things. After breakfast, my parents and I decided to take a stroll through the resort. The place was stunning. Palm trees swaying in the breeze, flowers blooming everywhere, and the ocean stretching out as far as the eye could see. It felt like we were walking through a postcard. As we walked, we passed by a large billboard advertising some local drink. The logo on the ad caught my eye, and I stopped in my tracks. Something about it didn't look right. The colors were off, or maybe the font was different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it wasn't how I remembered it. I stared at the sign a little longer, trying to shake the feeling that something was wrong. But my mom seemed so sure, and I didn't want to make a big deal out of nothing, so I just nodded and moved on. It was probably just me being paranoid. Later in the day, we decided to take a boat tour around the island. It was one of those classic touristy things, but why not? The guide was friendly, telling us all about the history of the island and pointing out various landmarks. There was this one spot, a natural rock formation, that was supposed to be super famous. The guide talked it up like it was the highlight of the tour. But when we got there, I felt a jolt of confusion. It didn't look anything like the pictures I'd seen before. The shape was all wrong, and it didn't seem to match the descriptions I remembered reading online.
Of course, this is it. The island's most famous landmark. Hasn't changed in 1,000 years.
The guide said. I forced a smile and nodded, but inside I felt a little more unsettled. Was it me? Was my memory really that bad? Or was there something off about this place? After the boat tour, we wandered through a local market. It was lively and colorful, with vendors selling everything from handmade crafts to fresh fruit. As we browsed, I overheard two vendors talking about a famous historical event. They were getting all the details wrong, like completely wrong. I couldn't resist butting in. Both of them stared at me. Then one of them pulled out an old newspaper clipping and showed it to me.
See? This is what really happened.
One of the vendors said. The article backed up their version of the story, word for word. I felt my stomach twist. How could they be so sure? And why was this article saying something that wasn't true?